Shamaya, you did it.
STL Music.
Welcome back to the show. Yo, listen up, we back in the game. Sweet the lead, we got the flame. Wanna get it to the fullest every single day. We wake up, get it in every way. Right to the 222 and the global inspiration. Swap this world to top news, no hesitation. Sweet the league is back. We always coming back, that's a fact. Wanna tell them that. STL Music, mama, we did where we at. Coach Jill in the house with the flow so tight. Never rocks, that's we unite. The best show, Monday through Friday. If this ain't different, they lying. We got the energy. When I say sweep, you say the league. Sweep the league, sweep the league, sweep the league, sweep the league. San Antonio, let's go. Sweep the league. Sweep the league. Sweep the league. San Antonio, let's go.
Hey, it's Rain Fernandez, and you're watching Sweep the League. Be sure to follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok, and Facebook at Rain Fernandez, Rayne Fernandez.
Hi, it's Sherilyn, and you're watching Sweep the League TV. Follow me on Instagram at official Sherilyn for more content.
Hey, this is George Iceman Gervin, and you're listening to Sweep the League Radio.
Sweep the League TV, where legends collide. If the Cowboys fall short, we'll still ride the tide. Like Jordan in the clutch, or Brady's last play. We bring the fire, keeping fans in the fray. Gio and Marie calling the shots with Derek Curvin straight Hall of Fame thoughts. So hit that subscribe, don't sit on the bench. Get in the game, every highlight's intense. The live stream's on, tell your friends don't delay. Like Kobe in the fourth, we're here to play. Sweep the League TV, where greatness resides. From the blocks at the drive, till my heart's on the rise. We're all in on sports, NBA, CFB, and more for fans. By fans, it's the show you'll adore.
Dak Prescott is being traded to the Browns.
Get ready for this one. I got a pretty darn good source within the Browns organization. Couple. I heard since our last show, part of the reason Myles Garrett was so willing to sign this extension for contract, money. The Browns are negotiating as we speak with the Dallas Cowboys for a trade for Dak Prescott. And Eric got all giddy about it. Why, I don't know. We're not going anywhere with Prescott, even if they pull it off. Newsom's part of it, and draft picks. Now, Prescott has a hamstring injury as we speak, and he may not be ready for the start of training camp. But this comes from a couple of different sources. And take it for what it's worth. If it does come about, remember where you heard it first.
What are your thoughts on this trade? Let me know in the comments down below.
All right, welcome to the Wednesday night edition of Sweep the League. Rudy Campos Jr. Going to be joining you probably solo tonight. Derek Gervin out sick today. He has a little cold, summer cold, but he'll be back here very, very soon. We're going to save our Bird and Magic debate that we were talking about last night for when Derek gets back on. Plus, we got other stuff that we want to debate about as well as far as the NBA goes. But you're going to have me tonight. Coach Jose is going to try to stop in later tonight. Let's not forget, guys, we've got a lot of great things happening for Sweep the League and the I Am Refocused Network. Sweep the League Network and I Am Refocused Network is one huge network. You've got anywhere from shows like I Am Refocused Radio to Sweep the League TV to you've got the new Painting Corners podcast, which will be debuting again next year. Full time, but it's going to have a few episodes here. Sweep Unplugged. We've got some hosts now for STL 316, so that's going to be coming back. Grading the Market's going to be back as well. So, I mean, those episodes, as well as every episode on Refocus Network. I was told today by the producers to start the show off with some teasing announcement. Y'all saw Marvel. Obviously, y'all saw Marvel putting out the Avengers Doomsday stuff. And I was told, you know what, we're going to have to do some kind of teasing. So we're going to tease a little bit through a video, not tonight. We're working on the video, but we've got a major network already that's pretty much developed. We're planning to launch it in either April or May. So you're basically going to get the Refocus Network, Sweep the League Network. You're going to get it all the entire weekend. It's going to be 4 or 5 hours on Saturday, 4 or 5 hours on Sunday. Eventually, you're going to get a network channel for you to just catch everything. It's going to be the replays of the shows. A lot of the shows will also go live as well from times. So if you are plugged into Sweep the League Network and the I Am Refocused Radio Network by going to the YouTube pages and subscribing to both, you are already locked in for it. You're going to be getting all the content that we provide here. There's no charge. It's free to be a member. It's free to follow us on TikTok. It's free to follow us on YouTube. So teaser's going to be coming out soon with all the videos, all the shows, tons and tons of content. Sweep Unplugged, another one that you're going to get. So FYI, be ready, guys. The network has been going on behind the scenes. It's already getting ready to be launched here in April or May. So we'll get that teaser video for you guys up here pretty soon. Leha himself, the man, the myth, the legend, MCS General Contracting. You see it on the hat. You see it every time you watch Sweep the League. And guess what? You are going to be seeing it every time that this network goes live for those weekend shows and everything that we've got going on. You're going to see MCS General Contracting all over the Refocus Network and Sweep the League Network, because they are proud sponsors of Sweep the League Network and the I'm Refocused Radio Network as well, now confirmed tonight. So you need the best in the business. There's no other people to call. It's MCS General Contracting. Business owners out there, we're going to come after you guys, because I know you're looking at your parking lot like, I need something done about this. I need it done quick. I need it done right. We're going to recommend MCS General Contracting. Homeowners with the driveways. I live in a brand new neighborhood pretty much, but I see a lot of people still needing some driveway work. Why? Because the original builders, they suck. They got the regular guys, the basic guys to do it. Well, they're going to have to call MCS. And what we're going to do is we're going to recommend everybody to MCS General Contracting. Why? Because they are the best in the business. We back them 100%. Their word is backed by them 100%. So you can trust them. You can trust us. We're never going to steer you wrong. That's MCS General Contracting, proud sponsors of Sweep the League. What's good, everyone? Let's get it. We are going to get it tonight, man. We got a lot of talk to get into tonight. Good evening, Joel. Appreciate you joining us on here. What is up, family? Jacob Eric of Grading the Market himself. Him and Anthony should be back very, 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 very soon. Thank you, God, for this rain. Needed it badly. We definitely needed this rain badly. And funny thing, because I got home, my power was off. I basically got power back on at about 8:45. So here I am trying to rush some videos and try to get ready for the show tonight. So I appreciate everybody joining on here. But yes, we needed the rain. Definitely my grass needed the rain too, because I tend to fill the water at half the time. So it's getting pretty bad right now, but we're not going to get into anything like that. What do we got going on tonight? So you just saw Bruce Drennan, Ohio broadcaster, talking about Dak Prescott to Cleveland. Now, hoax, maybe. I mean, I would say probably, let's be real, 10% maybe chance that might help happen. You know, is there anything behind it? I don't know. A lot of times people say stuff just to say it. You know, they need clicks. They need something, you know, to get followers and listeners and people to hear their garbage. So they say whatever they want to say. And you know what? That's fine. Bruce is a respected guy up in Ohio. When I lived up there, you know, I did listen to Bruce every now and then. So respected guy up in Ohio. And, you know, it's not a bad idea at all. We're gonna take a look at it here in just a little bit. JC Special Leaf, man, himself, man. saying, yo, what is up, JC? Thank you for joining us tonight. That was a pretty interesting opening video. Really, really was. We're going to talk about it here in just a minute. Also, the whole Project Marvel thing, Jeff Garcia, friend of the show, Locked On Spurs, posted something about Project Marvel, and then it got a lot of people riled up. I'm going to make a couple more comments on Project Marvel as well tonight. NFL rule changes. If we get time, we'll get into the proposed rule changes for the NFL. And also, it's time. Is it time to clown LeBron again? Something what we do a lot here on Sweep the League. I mean, if you watched Pat McAfee and you saw LeBron on there, you probably know the comment that he made about Giannis playing in the 70s. If you didn't hear it, we've got the video for you. We're going to be playing that later on in the show, plus a little bit of Spurs talk. Last night, I talked about a Spurs conspiracy. It kind of makes a little bit of sense. Maybe it does. Maybe it doesn't. We'll get you guys' thoughts on it here in a little bit. But first thing first, and yeah, it's always time to clown LeBron, Rudy. We got to clown LeBron all the time here. So first things first, Bruce Drennan and the Dak Prescott talk. What are your guys' thoughts? Let's get into it. Okay, so earlier today, video came out of Bruce Drennan, Ohio, basically a broadcaster from Ohio, which I'm trying to bring up right now. Here, 1 second. I'm not going to show you the video. I'm not going to play the video while we have it up right now. So basically, if you go on TikTok, not TikTok, but Twitter, you've got Bruce Drennan. The Browns are trying to trade for quarterback Dak Prescott, Cowboys quarterback Dak Prescott. So we were saying on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being like it's a guarantee going to happen. We already know for a fact. This is more on the lines of that 1.5 to. You can't necessarily say that it's not going to happen. We all know that in order for this to happen, Deshaun Watson's going to have to go somewhere. You can't have, good God, what is it, like $500 million invested in two quarterbacks with Dak and Deshaun Watson? If you look at their contracts, you can't eat up that much of the salary cap. So if it is true, and it's something that they are talking about, which both Cleveland and Dallas have come out and denied it. And for those of you guys out there that know that if teams come out and deny it really, really fast, sometimes it's because where there's smoke, there's a little bit of fire. So trying to get ahead of the situation before, thinking, well, it's almost like the Luka deal when all of a sudden you're overnight and you're like, holy crap, Luka Doncic got traded. No other teams knew about Luka getting traded. So sometimes you have teams working behind the scenes that don't want things to get out in order for it to happen. Teams, finding out that Dak Prescott is available could cause a firestorm. And that's something that, the Cowboys may not want. Now, again, going back, scale 1 to 10, 10 being that it's a guarantee going to happen. I have it on a 1.5 scale right now. I think talks have been there. I don't think it's a Deshaun Watson move to Dallas. I think Deshaun possibly gets traded, but then gets cut. And you've got a team like the Carolina Panthers is one. You've got a lot of teams out there that can absorb that contract and get reimbursed for absorbing that contract very, very well. So keep in mind, there's a lot of teams, Carolina's being one of them, that they can take on a contract like that and just kind of absorb it, maybe cut them. At the same time, Cleveland would be responsible to pay for a little bit of it. Wherever he goes, gets a little bit above it. I can see that happening because you can't have, like I said, close to $500 million in just two contracts. So 1 to 1.5 scale that it happens. I personally thought that it's maybe a move Micah makes. Myles Garrett understands, okay, he re-signs in Cleveland. According to Bruce Drennan, it's because he got wind of possibly going for a big-time quarterback. Aaron Rodgers is really the only guy that's still free agent out there, who I think still ends up in Pittsburgh. Russell Wilson, he's a giant. Matthew Stafford re-signed with the Rams. I mean, they're not looking at Derek Carr, so we can kind of X Derek Carr out. But why? What would be the reasoning to bring up, a Dak Prescott? He restructured his deal. Obviously, CD restructured their deal. They're doing it for Micah. Obviously, they want to pay Micah. But then you've got to understand this part right here is, and I see your question, Joel. I'm going to get to it here in a minute. Let me get to it here real quick right now because I don't want to leave you hanging there. The Browns are going to just have to cut Watson and eat it. Nobody will pick him up at that price and baggage. I totally get that. Browns trading for Dak would reassure once again why they are the Browns. Definitely. Now you ask this: why would the Panthers pick Watson up? Okay, let me go to that question. So a team like the Panthers, who have a lot of cap space, or any team for that matter that has a lot of cap space, yeah, it makes zero sense to pick up, his contract and then maybe cut him after that. So they got to absorb a lot of that money. But you've got a rookie QB, well, not a rookie QB, but you got a QB on a rookie contract. You don't have a whole lot of money tied up into a lot of players right now. So the compensation is you get draft picks. Remember, in the NFL, draft picks are gold. I mean, they are literal gold in the NFL. So you can get compensated by taking a lot of draft picks for getting Deshaun Watson. It'll be Watson and, maybe you could probably do Watson, a second, maybe 2 seconds, a third, and a fifth. I mean, you can make up a whole lot of stuff. And then you can maybe send somebody back to Carolina or something. It's just somebody's going to have to absorb this contract. Now, does Cleveland cut Deshaun if this happens? Yeah, you could. But again, you're tied up in all that dead money. So you're kind of shooting yourself in the foot. And you brought that up, a little while ago that the Browns would just have to cut Deshaun and eat it. But I mean, you got all that dead money. So it's really hard, in my opinion, for them to do that just by cutting them like that. So the thing with Dak and Deshaun, the restructures of the deal for CD and Dak Prescott to make room for Micah. Totally get that. You have a lot of people and a lot of fans that probably are not on the Micah bandwagon right now. Micah, for me, has always been okay. He can bring a really good return and help you improve in a lot of different positions that you need improving on. He's not going to get you the Herschel Walker deal, but it's like a Herschel Walker move. You've got your QB, you've got your wide receiver, you go make a deal, you get a few draft picks. You can easily probably get a 1 for Micah Parsons. You're definitely going to get 2s. But I mean, you can get a pretty good haul for Micah Parsons if you really wanted to move. That's who I thought was getting moved. When I kind of saw a Cowboy Cleveland thing, I thought, okay, makes sense. You pair Myles Garrett, you pair Micah Parsons, that defense is stacked. You go into the draft and you trade and you draft a Cam Ward. I mean, that starts to build Cleveland, dog pound football, basically. Any GM that would give up picks to bring Watson, just cut him, should immediately get fired. And I honestly, man, you got to look at it a GM's way. Are the Panthers going to go anywhere in the next 2 or 3 years? It's very hard to say. They looked good last year. They improved from last year, but they still have a whole lot. If you can get 3 picks in this draft and all you have to do is absorb a contract, I mean, those 3 picks could make a huge difference. There's so many ways to look at this here. And that's why I said Carolina could be one. I mean, ultimately, if it's to happen, Cleveland's probably going to just move on from Deshaun. They'll probably just cut him. I don't think another team out there would take him. But that was one step or one idea that I would always fight again, or not fight, but mention, was that you probably had to find a team to absorb that contract, but you'd have to compensate that team as well. for absorbing that contract. So I just threw Carolina out there. I'm not saying Carolina's a team. There's a couple other teams that could absorb that contract and, just absorb it, let him go. At the same time, get some draft picks. I mean, there's a lot of different ways to look at it. But going back to Cleveland, it sets up a whole lot because now that this is brought up, and again, I brought up the whole Minnesota and the Chargers trade last week or a week before when I said, we played the clip. We had been talking about it for months. Then the clip started to come out about the possibilities of the Chargers and Vikings moving Justin Herbert to Minnesota, bringing JJ McCarthy to the Chargers, Harbaugh reunited. We were talking about that. Then you start coming up on a couple of podcasts, Minnesota Viking podcasts, where they had, a couple of inside guys talking about it and mentioning it. So we'll say this right now when it comes to this deal. Looking at everything, looking at it all. You're talking about Deshaun being moved on that 1 or 1.5 on the scale of Dak going to Cleveland. For a fact that number 2 pick comes back to Dallas. Now, what do they do with it? You obviously need a QB. So if Cam Ward is there, then I sure as hell hope that they would draft Cam Ward at that position. For me right now, it's Tennessee. It's Abdul Carter. I think that's got to be the number 1 guy right there. Unless you see another team trading up, and unless Tennessee just says we're going Cam Ward, I think they build in that trench part. They go Abdul Carter at 1. But then if you make the deal and Dallas gets that 2, say Tennessee goes Cam Ward. I mean, the talk around Dallas has been about the possibility of Jerry and Steven going with the guy from Colorado, Shador Sanders, which I would totally be against. Totally be against. I'm not on Shador's bandwagon. I have him as a 6th, 7th round prospect. A lot of people have him even lower than that, undraftable. Some people have him as the 2nd best quarterback in the draft. I don't. But again, it's Jerry. It's the Cowboy Nation. It's making a splash. That would be the only reason I could see that move happening, is because they want to get into that 2 spot and get either Cam Ward or Shador Sanders. They, if you look at the other teams, the Giants don't need a quarterback. They could take a quarterback, but they really don't need one now that they got Russ. Plus, they signed Jameis Winston. Tennessee could use one. Will Levis is not the guy right now. But then you go to New England. I mean, Drake May's there. I don't see them drafting another QB at 4. The Raiders, I mean, I think this is a Jerry type move where if you move on from Dak, you go and get a QB at 2. I mean, that's kind of a Cowboy type move. Again, scale 1 to 10, I have it at a 1 or 1.5 of it happening, which is pretty much no, it's not going to happen. But again, where there's smoke, there may be a small fire, just a little fire. Could be a cigarette for all we know, but there's still a fuse. It's still lit. But where there is smoke, there is a small fire sometimes. You guys take for what it's worth. That's all I can say on the Dak Prescott type stuff. People, people say stuff just to say stuff. Me, am I buying it? No, I'm not buying it right now. The possibilities is there, but I'm not buying it. I mean, I don't see Jerry making that move right now. But then again, if there is a move to be made, I really, really think it's going to be the possibility of Micah Parsons being moved. That's my thing. I still feel Micah's the move to make. You can get a whole lot in return for Micah Parsons. And, Cowboy fans, you want to shit all over Sweep the League and myself and all for us saying it constantly. Think about it. You have so much more that you have to upgrade on. So many more positions on the offense and the defensive side of the ball that you can upgrade on by making a move in a draft class where, essentially the guy you're drafting at 10, 11, 12 is still going to be as athletic and as good as the guy you're getting, at 40, 45, 50. The draft class is pretty deep this year. They got some great players at a lot of positions. So I really think that making that move, getting some picks in return, again, you can easily get number 2, maybe a number 3 as well for Micah. You can get a whole lot for Micah Parsons. Let's not beat around the bush and say you can't get a whole lot. If they move Micah, Cowboys are going to be deadly soon. The thing is, it's really true in a way, man. You can definitely make a move by moving him, getting those draft picks, and just is Micah really, really, really going to make that defense that much better by himself? You think he's going to be able to stop every team from scoring touchdowns, stop every running back, get to the quarterback? You think he really is going to put it all on his shoulders to make the Dallas Cowboys the best defensive team in the game? You've already lost a couple of players. And you're bringing it into Tim Gonzalez in here, Blue Devils. Yeah, Duke plays, I think tomorrow is what it is. The cap as well, exactly. You're maxing the cap right there, with Dak, CD, Micah. You've already lost Brandon Cooks, so you've lost another receiver. You're going to have to go out and draft a receiver. Again, there's so many more question marks. There's so many more positions you have to upgrade and get better at to worry about one guy. I think they got to make that decision soon here. A lot of these defensive guys are signing some big contracts. They gotta make some kind of decision here very, very soon. What do you guys think? Do you guys think that it's all smoke, that it's just, something that they're talking about? Maybe it's something that is going to happen. What are you guys' feelings on that? As we take a commercial break, Rudy Campos Jr. here. Word from our sponsors, MCS General Contracting, the best in the business. As well as a reminder, be sure to go to our YouTube page. All you got to do is search Sweep the League TV, hit that subscribe button. Why? Because we made the announcement that the network, the big network between Sweep the League Network and I Am Refocused Radio Network, it's already big time already. We've already been partners in crime forever. Now it's just getting that much bigger. Why? It's getting so big, we're going to have to expand it and expand it to full coverage. Are we 24-hour coverage? Not yet, but it's in the horizon. You want to know more? Come back here in just a little bit after this word from our sponsor. Are you looking for a contracting company that gets the job done right the first time? Look no further than MCS General Contracting. MCS specializes in top quality concrete work, including patios, driveways, foundations, and swimming pools. The team of experts are dedicated to delivering exceptional results and unparalleled customer satisfaction. At MCS General Contracting, they're not just hardworking, they're local. Based in San Antonio, they are committed to building relationships and trust within the community. That's why MCS guarantees your satisfaction. They pride themselves on getting the job done right the first time, every time. So why wait? Contract MCS General Contracting today to schedule your project and experience the difference for yourself. MCS General Contracting, building a better San Antonio, one project at a time. Proud sponsors of Sweep the League.
Time to react, yeah, shift like a skate. Left, right, lean, that's a bucket in sight. Pull up mid, let it fly, no hype. Fourth quarter ice, keep the rock locking my grip when the clock go red, don't slip, I rip. Fast is allowed, yeah, the motor don't quit. Drop 30 quick, now they begging for a switch. Fox in the open, the lane look free, now allow that up. Win B. And running no team, keep pace. Fox got gears, Wendy got grace. Hoop too high, man, you won't touch. New Spurs every year, time to rush. Speed too real, yeah, check that tight. Defenders froze, now they stuck in place. Who gon' step, man, don't play dumb. Fast break.
You are watching Sweep the League TV. Make sure you subscribe and catch our new videos.
Sweep the League TV with Rudy Derrick and Coach Gio. Let's get back to the live show. You are watching the best in the business.
All right, welcome back to Sweep the League. Shout out to our sponsor, MCS General Contracting, the absolute best in the business 100% of the time, all the time. Back to 100% by Sweep the League, and everybody a part of Sweep the League Network and I Am Refocused Network. That is MCS General Contracting. Call them today. And a quick shout out, man. Quick shout out here to your very own Spurs. What? No, not those Spurs. The Spurs, the Austin Spurs, as they are going to the playoffs. They punched their ticket to the G League postseason. So congratulations to the Austin Spurs, your San Antonio, or your Austin Spurs, the G League version of the San Antonio Spurs, heading to the playoffs. Speaking of Spurs, man. Okay, so here we go. Project Marvel. Obviously, the big talk in Project Marvel is, the whole sports entertainment district and all this other stuff. Now, I previously lived in San Antonio pretty much all my life, with the exception of a couple of years when I lived in Ohio. I don't live in San Antonio, so now I don't have a vote for Project Marvel. So when it comes to debates, when it comes to this, when it comes to that, I just say a little bit about it, but knowing that I don't have a vote, it's for the city of San Antonio and its taxpayers to decide, not me. Now, where I live, they decide, to annex us and we're a part of San Antonio, then I'll say my piece and I'll say everything. But I get a lot of the reasoning behind stuff, man. Project Marvel is a massive undertaking. Massive undertaking. You're talking Spurs Arena. You're talking concert venue, upgrades to the Alamo Dome. You're talking about a walkway that goes, over 281. So you're in the district. You're talking about restaurants and everything like that. So again, you're talking a lot of money being spent on this. Does it benefit San Antonio? As a former resident of San Antonio, I'm in the middle about it. I'm going to say it's awesome because with a new arena, with upgrades to the dome, assuming they do it right, assuming they upgrade the dome right, the concert venue, it does bring a lot of flair, and it does bring a lot to San Antonio. The NCAA Final Four already said they're not coming back to San Antonio. They can't. There's no upgrade. There's no reason for them to come back. So that should already tell you, okay, got to do something if you want to keep getting NCAA, tournaments here and Final Fours and all that. You got to do something. The whole UTSA thing, they can play in the dome, whatever. That's fine. They want to build their own stadium. They can build their own stadium, off of 1604, whatever. That's wherever they want. UTSA in the dome is great. It's fine. But you've got to upgrade the dome. You've got to make upgrades. You've got to bring the changes. You've got to renovate. So that's a part of Project Marvel. There are people living downtown, yes. But if you're a resident of San Antonio, do you really think Project Marvel is going to cost what they're saying right now? That is an estimate. And I guarantee you that is a lowball estimate. Because if it's $4 billion, I'm throwing it out there number. If it's $4 billion by the time Project Marvel is done, those 7 years or 8 years that taxpayers are going to have to pay, whatever 0.5% in taxes for the 7 or 8 years. Well, guess what? Oh, we apologize. That $4 billion, number we gave y'all, it's actually like 14 billion, because we failed to take into consideration this or that, or what, the price of, and again, shout out to MCS because they work with us all the time. The price of material went up. It's not going to be built in months. It's not going to be built in a year. Material is going to go up in cost. So it's going to drive everything up. So guess what? You're paying more. Well, you're paying longer. It's the same price, but you're paying a longer period of time. So that 7-year tax that you're paying became 12 years now. 13. Now, what do you do to kind of get over the cost of it? What do you do with the Frost Bank Center? Is there any way the city, the county, can get reimbursed somehow for the Frost Bank and put it towards Project Marvel? I mean, it's like a used car. You take it, you paid it off. You want to trade it in, get some kind of value for it. Leha, I'm a fake Spurs fan, so I can't comment on the project because apparently saying I don't want the city to pay for it means I want them gone. You are not a fake fan. You're not a fake fan because I'm okay as a taxpayer. I'm okay to a point. And this is a point right here, Leah. My point on this is I will entertain Project Marvel, but I want to know what happened to the Frost Bank Center. Why does it still look the same over there? You're painting a picture of beautiful downtown San Antonio, which, yeah, I mean, AI can cook up some pretty damn good photos and stuff for you guys. But why is it that when we go to the Frost Bank Center, it's just there? You had the Hemisphere Arena downtown. Obviously, it's gone. One of the greatest arenas in basketball, Hemisphere Arena, always rocking. We need a new place. We need another place. You know what? Let's build this monstrosity and we can attract a football team. When the only football teams we've attracted are UTSA. That's a good thing because they've always needed a football program. You've done arena football in there. That was a big failure. Now we've got the AFL. You've got all these other things, XFL, everything. So it's attracting something, but it's nothing that sticks. Oh, hey, guess what, Spurs? We're going to move you from the Hemisphere Arena, which was perfect, outside of the poles, blocking certain views. We're going to move you to the Dome. And guess what? The cool part about it is you get half of the Dome only. You only get to play in half of it because it's too big for basketball. Spurs say, F it. We don't want it no more. We brought a title to San Antonio. Damn it, we deserve an arena of our own. Awesome. Let's go to the east side of town where the land's not too expensive. And we're going to put it right next to the Freeman Coliseum. I was a kid, man. I mean, I was a young guy. I wasn't a kid, but I was a young guy when all that was talked about. You know what hit me right there? You're putting it next to the Freeman. You're promising that the east side of town is going to boom because we're going to bring in restaurants. We're going to bring in this, and we're going to remodelize and revolutionize the east side. Didn't think that. My opinion, I didn't think that. My opinion was The Coliseum's so damn old. You need another place for the damn rodeo. That's why you want it next to the Coliseum. Because if it truly was a Spurs arena, why the F are you doing the rodeo in there and kicking the Spurs out for a few weeks? Made no sense. Makes zero sense. That was a terrible idea. So going back to Lehigh here, you're not a fake Spurs fan. Because I say I agree with you on the spot of they want the taxpayers to pay it. But the taxpayers paid for the dome. You ain't got that NFL team. You've been lucky to stumble on football leagues. Some that they don't last. Luckily, the Brahmas are going into another season. Then the taxpayers got talked into building the Frost Bank Center / the SBC Center / AT&T Center, whatever. The taxpayers got tricked into that. Well, we're going to make it beautiful and it's going to be this, it's going to be that. No, it's going to be an upgrade for the rodeo. Again, that's strike 2 for the taxpayers on San Antonio. 3 strikes and you're out. The thing people have to realize is it's going to get built. I'm pretty sure, and I'm willing to say it's going to get built, whether it's half funded by taxpayers, half funded by, the Holtz. Either way, it's going to get built. But for you to say that people are calling you a fake Spurs fan because you are against taxpayers paying for it, we don't cuss a lot of here, but we sometimes do. It's bullshit. You're not a fake Spurs fan. You take the Spurs fan hat off, and that's what everybody as a citizen, as a resident of San Antonio should do. Take off the sports hat. Take off the Spurs hat. We're not questioning your Spurs loyalty. I don't care if your team tank, if your team playing, or if your team I'm jumping off of the bandwagon. I don't care what you are. Take off the hat because this affects your pocket. If you feel like the Spurs need to pay for half of it or some of it, that's perfectly your opinion. You are entitled to it. No one should get any grief over their opinion when it comes to this matter. You don't tell me how to spend my money. I spend my money how I want. If I don't want to pay for it, guess what? I'm voting no. And there's the middle finger. You don't tell me how to spend money. I spend my money the way I want. If I really want to pay for an arena, then I'm going to vote yes. And it'll come out of my pocket if it gets funded and it passes. It's not that serious for you to be called a fake Spurs fan because of it. Truly isn't. Not at all. Will it pass? I'm pretty sure it'll pass. I'm pretty sure it'll go through. It's a great idea, but you've also got to remember where they want to build it. There's a lot of apartment and a lot of housing there. That's an issue that I don't know if they're willing to understand. Because if you have a house in that district and Project Marvel is going in there, if it's me, it's a $4 billion project. I expect at least 7 figures for my land. Because you can't be forced to move. They ain't putting no hitman or anything like that. You're going to pay me. And pay me good to move. You're not a fake Spurs fan. It's going to cost $7 to $10 billion when it's all said and done. Exactly what I said a little while ago, man. It's going to cost more than what they're projecting. They're giving you the absolute low bottom dollar amount for what it's going to cost. 100%. Duke plays tomorrow. They play tomorrow. Plate sales ain't going to cover that. Yeah, we ain't going to be able to do a plate sale big enough to cover Project Marvel. That's for damn sure. Everything is easy on a freaking rendering. These morons understand the complexity of this project. A land bridge over a 6-lane major freeway. Exactly. The land bridge alone. Man, it looks awesome on a picture. It looks awesome on a model. But the city has to know how much traffic goes on 281. You realize the traffic sucks downtown during rush hour. You just want to make it that much harder for people to drive in San Antonio. As it is, it's an effing nightmare on 35 over there at Olympia Parkway. It's terrible, 1604 and I-10. I mean, I'm team pick one project, put every resource you have on it, finish the damn project, then go to the next one. I'm not team let's start here, there, and everywhere, and we'll play catch up everywhere. I'm not about that. But now you want to talk about a land bridge over 281. That's loco, man. It's stupid. You're where the hell can anyone go then? You're diverting traffic into other parts of the city. That makes no sense. The Spurs and City said they were going to revitalize the East Side. How the hell did that work out? Exactly, man. I mean, the Alamo Dome, you build it, they'll come. We're going to, we're pushing for NFL. And the NFL looks at San Antonio like, yeah, bro, we're good. We're good. Hey, Jerry, we're thinking, no. Jerry said, no, we're good. We're good. Yeah. Appreciate you building the Alamo Dome. I'll tell you what, best thing we can do, if a hurricane hits New Orleans, we'll let you have the Saints for a couple of games. That's the best we can do. Maybe we'll throw a preseason game in there sometime from time to time. Not anytime soon, but maybe in the future. Maybe if you add an extra, 3 or 4 steps going up to the top, we'll throw in an NFL preseason game. That's the best we can do. Then you go to Frost Bank, like Leha said, we're going to revitalize it. We're going to bring all these restaurants. It's going to be booming by the Frost Bank Center. Built, paid for. Appreciate it, guys. Hey, Spurs, love you. But y'all's asses need to get out of the arena for a couple of weeks during rodeo time because we gotta fill the Frost Bank Center with cow shit everywhere. Yeah, it's a must. We have to use it because the Coliseum's so old. We've got to do it. So sorry, man. Sorry about that. We funded a updated and an upgraded rodeo site. Now you know why Project Marvel gets so much pushback from citizens and residents of San Antonio. They've been through it already. Majority of the old heads are going to say they should have never torn down Hemisphere. I agree. Never should have. Perfect spot. Perfect arena. If you were going to demolish Hemisphere, you should have built something right there and then. Right on that land. 0 cents. 0 cents whatsoever. That was the mistake from the get-go, going to the east side. They should have demolished Hemisphere and built it. It's funny because you said it a while back. I got to your comment now, but that's exactly what I said a second ago. Demolish it and rebuild right there. The absolute perfect spot for the arena. A new arena was right there where Hemisphere was. City's got no brains. Oh, I said the same. No matter what they will build it because the city are suckers. Michael Dell is part of the ownership. He has a net worth of $100 billion. Steve Ballmer did it, and that's what we're saying. If they want something cool, it's awesome. Do it. But at what point do you stop leaning on the citizens of San Antonio? At what point? Because again, you've already screwed them once, screwed them a second time. I hope there's enough Vaseline in the jar to screw them again if it doesn't go right. Fingers crossed, if they do decide to do it, it goes right this time. Spurs fans just see a new shiny building. I see the process to build, the headaches. You do see it. You're in construction. I'm not in that kind of construction, but I do work in construction. But yeah, We said earlier, it looks good on paper, man. The model looks awesome. It looks fantastic. Oh my God. We're getting brand new arena. We're going to have a TV behind every seat, and I'm going to have Wi-Fi at my chair. You know, they're going to have people delivering all my food, and oh my, it's going to be so awesome. Okay. So you build it. If the Spurs aren't winning right away, are you willing to pay the extra 30-40% markup on tickets? Are you willing to spend the extra $8 that it's going to cost, $5 more per beer? I mean, when you get a new shiny toy, it costs a little bit more. Keep that in mind. You fans are bitching about tickets at the Spurs game now. They're a losing organization. Why am I paying $150, $200 a ticket to sit in the lower level? What do you think is going to happen when the new arena comes in? You really think they're going to go, hey, guess what, Spurs fans? Half off tickets for that first year because you got us a new arena. Ha, ha, ha. Well, I gave you half off on your ticket, but that popcorn is going to cost 60% more. And that beer is going to cost 75% more. Oh, you want to buy a jersey? Well, guess what? That's another 25% on top. It's not a lose-lose. It's not a win-win. It's just something to think about. That's what it comes down to. Weigh everything out and make the smart decision, San Antonio. I have no vote anymore. I don't live in San Antonio. I live on the outskirts. But I live far enough to where I don't have a vote in this. I don't have a dog in the fight. San Antonio is a smart city. Definitely. They would definitely make the right decision. Rudy, the city would not understand because they got no brains. Yeah, well, it's everybody there, man. You know, the city puts a proposal out and they allow the taxpayers to vote on it. It just depends, man. But it's got to be a really good thing. The roads of downtown are terrible right now. Yeah, they are. The civil engineers in the city are either dumber than a bag of rocks, or absolute geniuses. Dumb because they can't seem to see the future growth, but geniuses because they don't see the future growth. As complicated as this, read that real quick. You are right, man. You're right. There's a lot of potential. There's a lot of potential for the city of San Antonio. Project Marvel, great idea. I mean, you are upgrading San Antonio downtown. That is exactly what the city needs tonight. You know, it needs that upgrade. It's a growing city. It's a large city. You know, people are moving here. I've already met a few families that have said we moved from California. We're here now. We love it here. It's amazing. We love Texas. But we don't like going to San Antonio because it's meh and the traffic's meh. We don't like going to Austin because it's meh and the traffic is meh. We like the outskirts, so it's good. But revitalizing and upgrading downtown San Antonio would be awesome. But it's at what cost? That's the question. At what cost? Again, it's strike three. If the city doesn't get this right, what are you going to do 15 years later, 20 years later when it says, hey, you know what? Wemby's here. Darren's here. We brought 3 titles here, but downtown's just a little too crowded. You know, it's our players are having a lot of trouble getting into the arena because it's too crowded downtown. It's all bunched up. We may need to move it somewhere else. Then you're going to have Project WTF. Because what the F did we just do? Great idea, better planning. That's what you need to do with Project Marvel. Again, My vote counts for nothing. Absolutely nothing. My vote counts for nothing. I can give you my 2 cents. I can get criticized. I can get called whatever. Doesn't bother me. I know for a fact my vote don't count because I don't live in the city limits. But I will say, great idea. Love the idea. But I just don't think it's not going to be as simple as people make it out to be. Will the Spurs leave San Antonio? They're not going to leave San Antonio. Something will get done. Because at the end of the day, Leha mentioned it, you've got owners that have a lot of money. You've got investors that have a lot of money. Michael Dell has a lot of money. He can fund it. But you guys that are going to celebrate, yay, we're only funding 40% of it. That other 60% that got funded by the Spurs or by investors, that 60% is the markup on your tickets. Why does it cost $45 to park? Because you didn't want to spend the money to build the damn thing. Why did my beer cost $16 or $21? And it's like 4 drinks. Because you wanted to pay less in taxes. Nothing in life is free, man. My mom, love her to death, always told me, if it's too good to be true, it probably is. Get to some more of your comments here. Wait, what restaurants on the east side I haven't seen? The only place I've seen is Circle K. That's a lot of them, man. Rudy, what did you drink and eat, man? Fires. I'm a little bit passionate tonight, too. Really am. Chef Rudy cooking. Appreciate it, Leha. I'm trying, man. I'm trying my best here to cook us best for this Project Marvel talk that we got. The Cali implants love Texas because no income tax, and it's way cheaper than where they came from, so they can afford to overpay for properties. And yeah, a couple of people I've talked to are like, "Oh, we're bidding on this or we're getting that." I'm like, "You guys are lucky, man. You guys are lucky." But enjoy it. They're great people. You know, I know I've talked to them for a little bit. They're amazing people, and I like hanging out with them. But yeah, I mean, you've got people that love coming to Texas and staying here. So the economy, you know, for Texas, for San Antonio, you're getting the people moving here. Project Marvel would be good. A lot of these people may vote for it because they haven't lived in San Antonio long enough. They weren't put through the Alamo Dome fiasco. They weren't put through the Frost Bank lies. They weren't put through anything like that. So, of course, they would probably be voting yes because they live in the city now. They live in San Antonio. So, hey, let's revitalize downtown. We can do it. Yeah, we'll do it. It'll be great. So at the end of the day, yeah, I think it does get passed when it comes to Project Marvel here. Rudy Campos Jr., of course, coming to you here at Sweep the League. Again, shout out to our sponsors, MCS General Contracting. Lehan the boys guaranteed that if you're going to pay $4 billion for a job, it's going to be done right the first time. It's going to be done quick. You're not going to have any issues, and they're not going to BS you on the pricing. They're going to be with you 100% of the way all the time. It's 100% guaranteed, backed by us here at Sweep the League, as well as the guys over at MCS General Contracting. Last topic of the day. We talked a whole lot of Project Marvel. Last topic of the day. We're not going to get into the NFL rule changes. We'll wait on that. We are going to end the show with one of our baseball talks. Of course, baseball, it's tomorrow, I believe, opening day. So baseball talk, we're getting a little bit from Will Clark talking about Ricky Henderson. I don't think we played that last night, so we'll play it for you today. But nonetheless, we'll get into that here in a little bit. Last topic here. Let me play the last couple of videos for you guys.
That man put his hands on me, I would have immediately swung on him. Immediately.
The game is different, and we should respect all eras in that era. You know, we can't be saying, okay, just because Wilt was great in the 60s and 70s, that he'll be great now. And we also can't say that some of the guys now will be great. It is what it is. Respect that era, and we move on. But the whole, every single day that he's better, he's not better, he wouldn't. You trying to tell me Giannis wouldn't be able to play an NBA game in the 70s?
Hint check. He wouldn't be able to do it.
Giannis,
neither would you. Neither would you.
Giannis Antetokounmpo would have 250 points in a game in the 70s. 200.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it. I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
So yeah, LeBron talking about Giannis Antetokounmpo back in the 70s playing would have 250 points. Of course, it's exaggerating. He's just jumping on that whole bandwagon of, well, today's game, we're way better athletes. We're way better players than back in the day. And to LeBron's credit, he did say that before he mentioned that, he did say, hey, it's the evolution of the game. He did make a smart statement. And he did say, the game evolves every generation. It evolves. And 100% true on that. 100% true. But where you guys are saying Kyrie Irving, Steph Curry are the best ball handlers that we have ever seen, I think Kenny Smith would be one to tell you that you're wrong. You are definitely wrong. Pete Maravich is a guy that handled the ball very, 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 very good. But what you see today with Steph and Kyrie and these guys, where it's like, oh my God, look at that. It's and one basketball, but on the NBA. That was being done back in the day. It was just never during a game. It was backyard bush league basketball stuff. You would get pulled from a high school game for playing that kind of basketball. It's been around forever. But with Giannis, with LeBron talking about Giannis scoring 250 points and all that stuff, this is the thing, man. I get it. You think Giannis would have, scored mightily back in the 70s. In the days of, Moses and Malone and Kareem and, I'll tell you one guy, because we talk about a lot of players here. I'll tell you one guy. Bobby Jones. If you don't know him, obviously a lot of you guys don't, but Bobby Jones would have locked down Giannis and made life a living effing hell for Giannis Antetokounmpo. The physicality back then. Giannis is one of the physical players today. But take away the all-new, brand-new gather step. Take away palming the ball, where you literally see guys have the ball, their hand underneath the ball and bringing it over the top. Take away what you can get, what you consider basketball today, put it back in the 70s to that style of basketball. Giannis maybe averages 15 points a game. Maybe 20. I can give him maybe 20, possibly 20. I put him at a fair and even 15, 16, 17 points a game. He can play, but can't shoot. That's for damn sure. So they would crowd the lane like nobody's business back in the day. Giannis trying to get to the basket against the bad boys, he would feel it. Because remember, a regular foul back then is considered a flagrant today. A flagrant today was a common foul back then. No bleed, no foul. I mean, I get it. The evolution of the game was all that. But as Rick Barry once said, If we had what the current guys have, training regimens, massage therapists, all the, the meals being prepped, if we had all the health and recovery that today's players have, they would be as good as they are today, if not better. Like a lot of guys said, you didn't have to deal with the hand check. You didn't have to deal with getting, elbows putting in your rib cage while you're in the post. Players back in the day, I will say this, and again, maybe it's a hot take, maybe it's not, I don't know. But players back then, and I'm talking, let's go with the Tim Duncan era, the Kobe Bryant era. Those guys back, they are smarter players than they ever are today. Athletic, I give the edge to today, but before you go crazy on me, I only say that because if you're going to go with today's rules, the gather step, the palming of the ball, all this other BS that they made up to make the game easier and all this other stuff for players. Of course, you're going to look more athletic. But from the Kobe Bryant, the Tim Duncan generation, those guys on back played the game the right way. Yeah, Jordan flopped. Everybody flops in the NBA. I hate the fact that, LeBron sexuals are always coming up, but well, your GOAT flopped all the time, so you can't say that he can't be compared to LeBron or Mike, and that everybody flopped. Dennis freaking Rodman flopped back when he was in Detroit. Flopping was a part of the game back then. It wasn't as big as it is now, but it was a part of it. So I don't even consider that part. But you have the total disrespect, as Gio brought up last night, the total disrespect of today's generation is horrid. It's horrible. It's so simple. Can you imagine, before we go, I want to put this in your head. Imagine this. Could you imagine today's game played with 80s rules? What would the over-under be on travels? What would the over-under be on palming the ball? It would be astronomical. It's this right here. LeBron said it best. Generations are generations. It's going to evolve the game. You can't really compare this generation to that generation. Well, why the hell did you do it? You're the one saying, well, Giannis can go back and score 250 points in a game back in the 70s. You make it seem like the 70s was a cakewalk and it was a shitty time of basketball. Yet, that was some of the most awesome basketball we had seen. 70s, 80s, 90s. I sound like the KTFM guy. I'm telling you, back in those days, it was amazing basketball. It was awesome to watch the game played the right way. I'm okay with today's game. I don't give it a whole lot of credit, but I'm okay with it. Probably because I don't watch a lot of it. Doesn't appeal to me. I'd prefer college ball and stuff like that. But again, the disrespect of today's generational NBA players. Do your research, man. Do your research. I get it. You say stuff just to say it because, you're in the position you are. You're LeBron. I can say whatever. I'm, so-and-so, and I can say this and I can say that. And it goes back to this. If I ever got approached by them, say, well, what the hell you know? You don't play NBA. Well, you're effing right. I didn't play NBA. Barely played high school. I didn't play college. I'm not going to be one that is going to say, well, I know the game of basketball. Well, guess what? I do know the game of basketball. I have literal NBA players, former NBA players that can tell you, I know the game of basketball, that we talk about it. So, yeah, I didn't play at that level. Never could play at that level. I'm a monumental 5'8". So of course I wouldn't make it. I'm not Muggsy Bogues or Spud Webb. I'm none of those guys. But you've got to admit something. Quit discrediting the past players. Quit discrediting guys like Larry Bird. Don't discredit, the guys that played in the 70s. These guys, they paved the way, and they took as much money as they could get, and they paved the way for you to have a much better life and to play the game that you love and get paid very well. They paved that way. These guys don't have millions upon millions of dollars. They got paid as much as they could. So guess what? New basketball generation. To end the show, this is for you out there. The biggest difference is you play the game for the money and the fame. They played for the love of the game. I'll take the love of the game every day of the week and twice on Sunday. Get to some of your comments before we go here. Let's see. Why wouldn't Michael Dell put the money down himself? Then he can just recuperate the investment. That's what I said. Put the money in there. People are going to be like, we don't pay taxes. Great. Awesome. No, we're not going to pay the tax on it. BS. You're going to get taxed somewhere else, and that's going to be in the cost of the sales of the tickets. Parking's going to go up. Everything's going to go up. So you pick your battle. You got to pick your battle. Agile call. That's what I've been saying along. Call it Dell Arena. Perfect. Dell Arena. I'm all for that. Michael Dell Arena. You can call it there 100%. Joel Cologne is agreeing with you, Leha. LeBron James is publicly admitting that he's a vagina. Pretty much, man. You said it, and I will agree with that. I hate the gather step so much. That's traveling, period. That game when Bird got in a fight with Lane Beard, granted a total zero ejections. LOL, it was different back then. Why is it the times that LeBron has been, guys like Isaiah Stewart charged LeBron and people that want to fight LeBron? Why did LeBron run away? Fight. Come on, man. Fight. Did it back in the day of the Spurs scored 125 and 1. There was like a free burger from somewhere or something. And that should never happen. I think one time it was Whataburger. It was either Whataburger or McDonald's. I think he got like a free burger or something. Or no, you know what? Wasn't it Church's or something like that? You got like a 2-piece or something. It was some crazy. I have to ask Jeff. Jeff would probably remember, man. Another killer episode, bro. Appreciate it, Leha. Shout out to you, man. You do everything for us here at Sweep the League. MCS General Contracting has been with us, for a while now, and they're going to continue to be with us. We're growing to monumental leaps and bounds. They're going to be growing right next to us. It's MCS General Contracting. Couldn't do this without you, man. Appreciate everything you do for us here. Same played for the EO too. Yeah, exactly. Rudy with the San Antonio Spurs playing a bit better of late. Defense improving, etc. Does Mitch deserve credit for Locked On Spurs? I'll get to that here before I go. So, yeah, definitely cheers to the future, man. Yeah, let's get together and work hardcore, man. I've already said, talk to the producers. We got stuff already in them. They're already working on it tonight. So we're definitely going to keep working on everything to get you up to the highest point possible in the community of San Antonio and everywhere the surrounding areas, brother. So the Spurs playing better. If they would have beaten, so before Detroit, they were what, 5-7? They were 5-2, 5 of the last 7 games they won. It's tough because you're talking about a Knicks team without Brunson, beat a Raptors team it's the Raptors. I'm not downplaying their victories, but I will say this, Jeff. because you're on here. I mentioned it last night. We talked a little bit about it, and I don't know if it's Mitch deserving the credit or if it's just the players playing good and just kind of clicking together, I guess. I don't know. I mean, you have the entire fan base on a high just to get blown out by Detroit, who, again, shout out to Detroit, man. I was telling you guys to watch out for Detroit this year. I didn't think they'd be like this kind of team, but I knew they'd be improved. But they're playing better. Devin Vassell is proving that he can be a valuable piece if needed somewhere. I'll tell you, and Mitch deserves credit. I'll say this on the Mitch Johnson thing. I've said it on Locked On Spurs with you. I'll say it again. He's doing his job. He's doing the best that he can do, but there's no apology form needed. I don't need to sign apology forms to Mitch Johnson. I don't need anybody else to do that. You know what? When I do my job and I do it bad for a while, I don't expect apologies from my employees or my bosses. I just expect to get the job done. So apology forms, you can just rip them up, throw them in the trash. I don't need them. I don't need to give them away. I don't need them in return. So I think if it's him doing anything, maybe he's found a good lineup to work with. Maybe he's, already understood, okay, these lineups work. He's making some adjustments. I can see a little bit of improvement there. Is it more on the players than it is Mitch Johnson? I'd say probably so. I mean, again, rookie coach doing as best as he can, being put in the fire the way that he has. For me, give him a little bit of credit. He is the coach for the team. But I think it's just more of the situations. End of the year, they're just playing to just keep jobs, man, basically. But before I go, Jeff, you're on here, so I want to tell you this. Last night we talked about it with the Spurs winning now, playing really good. One player in particular is Devin Vassell. Now, you all had people say, well, there go the draft picks. There goes the possibility of Cooper Flagg. There goes the possibility of Ace Bailey. Is it possible that the Spurs, similar to what we said on Sweep the League a long time ago about De'Aaron Fox coming to San Antonio, is it possible that they have something in the works for the summer of 2025 where it doesn't matter where they fall in the draft? They've got 2 first rounders guaranteed. So do you think that it's Devin, it's these guys playing better to up their trade value more than anything else? Something to think about, Jeff. Maybe you do a Locked On episode of that. Is it really improvements? Is it really, they are getting better leaps and bounds because look at how they're playing? Or is it where you're improving your stock? Because maybe there's something in the works. Just throwing that conspiracy theory out there. Doesn't have to be right. Doesn't have to be true. Just throwing it out there. I wonder if it's something like that. But yeah, I mean, they are playing better. They are, like I said, they were 5-2 out of the 7 games. At 5 of the last 7 games they had won before Detroit. So we'll see the stretch they got coming up. They got a pretty brutal stretch of games coming up here pretty soon. So we'll see how they do now. But again, shout out to MCS General Contracting, best in the business. Appreciate everybody joining me tonight. We'll replay this episode tomorrow morning for you guys again. Again, we talked about Project Marvel. That was a pretty big topic tonight. Talked about some NFL stuff. And also we talked about LeBron and his brutal take of Giannis. Is this going to be a draft for the Spurs who need to draft on need and not best available? If they end up keeping the picks, I think they draft base. At this point, it's big man. They're going to have to get a big man somewhere in there, and then it's probably best available player at that position. Other than the point guard position, maybe the guard as well. I mean, you're probably going to have to look at probably 2 front court guys is what I'm thinking, a 3 or 4 or a 5. So that's what I'm thinking if they do end up having both draft picks. So being that it's a really good draft class, they can find a couple of guys in there if they use them. But I really think they're going to probably move on from those draft picks, and they might have something in the works for the offseason. So keep your eyes and ears open for that. But again, shout out to everybody out there. Appreciate you joining me tonight. Should be back tomorrow. I believe Derek or Gio should be back tomorrow as well. So for everybody out there, again, thank you for joining me tonight. Be sure to go to our YouTube page, search Sweep the League TV, hit that subscribe button, TikTok page. All you got to do is search at Sweep the League Radio, be a subscriber on that. And again, Iron Refocus Network, Sweep the League Network. We've already been, we've already combined. We've already put up a lot of episodes. Well, now we're taking that next step where you're going to get weekend coverage of a ton of episodes from both networks. You're going to be bombarded with content. It's also going to be during the week as well, I believe so at one point. But for right now, starting in April or May, somewhere around that time, you're going to be bombarded with content from Sweep the League Network and Iron Refocus Network. So don't be left behind. All I can tell you, be sure to go to our YouTube pages, Iron Refocus Radio, and also Sweep the League TV. Be a subscriber on both so you don't miss out. So for Derek Irvin, for Coach Gio, for everybody behind the scenes here at Sweep the League, it's Rudy Campos Jr. Until we sweep the league again, we'll see you later, knuckleheads.
On the court, watch my plays take action. Fast break, hustle, yeah, I'm built to compete. Defense locked in, I'm the soul of the street. Court vision crazy, I'm balling in the zone. Step back, jumper, yeah, I'm cold like stone. 2025 moves, my game got finesse. Leave it all on the floor, you know I'm the best.
Thank you for such an incredibly special night. Thank you for giving us the gift of being able to share music with you.